Diane, I'm listening to a podcast, Black Lodge Trivia Night. I've never heard so many game aspirations in my life.
Are we indeed? I see that we are. Wow, don't be a dick about it. Sorry. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Black Lodge Trivia Night, a group of three dads playing RPGs, talking about Twin Peaks, making fun of British voices and their lorries, and really just trying to figure out what happened to the rat zaddy is the whole purpose of this adventure. So, fellas, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Doing okay. And I just want to go on the record as I know that British people don't call them unkies. I know that they call them uncles. The moment I said, I apologize to the British people, I started a bit. So
do we need to release as our next short, like you standing in front of the Union Jack, like reading from a note card? I'd like to apologize to the entire United Kingdom for
everything.
Yes.
No, I'm just going to do the, take a screenshot of a written apology and post it on Twitter.
Okay, good. From the Notes app, right? With like Ritz. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, doing okay otherwise, and I'm really looking forward to this because it's been a hot minute since we've jumped back to Muscovy.
It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. It's been.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see how this pans out. I think that we have a fine tradition here, though. I'm sorry, Matt. Did you say how you were doing?
I'm doing great, Patrick.
Yeah?
Thank you.
How's your leg?
Good.
Yeah. Ooh.
Are we up to stage 2 coloring yet, or is it still healing?
No. That's in about like a month because it's like 30 days before you do touch-ups, and then like she's just booked out. I don't know.
I mean, really, the other they did the coloring on the starfish, right? That's been filled in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Should I show you?
Yeah. We'll mark this one as for mature audiences. It'll be fine. Good.
Oh man. But yeah, we do have a tradition. And I am at the ready if you guys are ready.
I'm always half ready. I'm always half cocked. Let's go.
I feel like we should put it out. We are all fried for different reasons.
Yeah, it's been a week
Sweet
for all
Jesus,
of us. It sounds like
it's been a week.
This is not going to be our.
This is
Half
not
of us are in. How'd you put it last time? Bill Belichick casual. Semi-formal.
Semi-formal wear.
Semi-formal. I've got
Patrick hasn't even changed from work yet. It looks like.
No. This was my going out shirt. Yeah. We went to dinner, which is why I was a little late tonight. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we went to Walk-Ons.
Popeyes? Oh, Walk-Ons. Okay.
Walk-Ons. Did I go to Popeyes? Fuck you, Matt.
No, I just picked a spot. Like I don't know.
Patrick went out. He's going to Popeyes.
No, shots fired. Popeyes.
We go to Bojangles down here. No.
Yeah, I've been to Bojangles, sir.
Well, I mean,
how dare you, sir?
You have to.
West. I have to go pretty far south to get Bojangles.
I was about to say, do you have to put a bulletproof vest on to go to your Bojangles too?
They just don't exist here.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. We're not sponsored by Bojangles or Sent from Hell. My candle finally died. I ran out.
Oh.
And they're on a break. So I have this wild sage leaf is what I've got right now. Because never RPG without sense for the con musk. So
yeah, I'm like down to just taking a cigar lighter to a stick of deodorant. I don't have anything fancy going on.
You've got the mood lighting going too there today, Art. You've had the mood lighting going for a couple of episodes now, and I'm here for it.
It's because I'm fucking ugly.
Pull that off. Like I wonder what would happen if I turn off all the lights behind me.
Yeah, so that's what I do. All the lights are off in my office except for the Make Me Pretty lights, and that helps, because probably behind me is a mess and who knows what. Anyway, wow. I have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you trying to get to the trivia question still?
Not at all. You guys ready?
Yes.
Ready.
This one might be pretty easy, so I've got a backup.
Okay.
In Twin Peaks lore, mythology, whatever you want to call it, what does the blue rose symbolize?
Blue rose. Is this a Firewalk with Me question?
So that's the thing. I couldn't tell you if it makes an appearance in the show or if it's primarily, it is definitely more focused on in the movie and probably season 3.
I'm going to I have a guess, a shot in the dark, but I don't feel confident.
And Patrick, you probably haven't gotten there yet.
Nope, way far out for me.
White Lodge?
No, a blue rose it's a blue rose case. And it's when the FBI
That's right.
labels something as either unsolvable or supernatural. They call it a blue rose case. And so that's why I don't know if, like, say Lynch as the commander of the whatever ever mentions it in the show, but I think it's definitely...
I think that's a 3 and maybe Firewalk with Me. I don't think that's in the original.
All
but
right.
I could be wrong.
There you go. That is what a blue rose symbolizes, a blue rose case for the FBI.
Wow. Very nice.
All right, so that was a little trickier than I thought. I don't know if I would have gotten had I been asked, but I was like, this might be too simple, but apparently not.
I was scrambling for some trivia just in case Art was unprepared. And it's not really a trivia question other than like an interesting fact. So I'll try to frame it as a question just to give us a little bonus question.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how to put it as a question, but it's kind of cool. There was a secret. I'm just going to say the fact. I don't know how to ask it a question. Okay. Did you know that no one other than David Lynch and Piper Laurie knew who was playing Mr. Tojimura?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Well, only because I think does that get mentioned in one of the books about the making of?
I think so. Must be.
So I think I read that, yeah, which I found actually genuinely hard to believe.
Yeah, because it's pretty obvious.
Right, it's clearly not an Asian man, but I guess maybe they didn't know it was Piper Laurie behind the makeup. Maybe that's the trick.
That's probably the what everyone didn't know. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, out of curiosity, Patrick, how far did you end up getting in Twin Peaks? I assume we're on hold.
Yeah, I'm on hold. I'm still 2 or 3 episodes into season 2. Like it hard wall.
Yeah, no, that's I definitely get that. What I will say is, I know he's on History on the Table Discord, and that's where he posted it, but one of our new members of our hopefully soon to expand Black Lodge Trivia Night Discord, it's I think it was Bill who posted it in the History on the Table, but he posted that video about like in defense of season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I took a look at it. So I just want to say thank you, Bill, for posting that, because I found it really interesting. And it's something I think I've always thought where it's, if you think about like the first half of season, well, maybe not the first half, a big chunk of the beginning of season 2 is wrapping up the mystery. So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
The back part of season 2 gets back to good stuff.
Right.
And so it's just this little pocket in the middle that's crap, but it sort of gets blown out of proportion because it's such crap. And even while it's such crap, there are little things going on. And the video makes the argument, like, just imagine if they had waited till the end of season 2 to solve Laura Palmer and intermixed all this good stuff with that background instead of the stuff they were sort of pushed to fill the time with because they had the rug pulled out from them in terms of the mystery. And it just made me go like, oh yeah, that's, it made me appreciate season 2 a little bit more because there are things about it that are really good and are really important to the whole lore and narrative. And it's just goddamn James.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. It's not a little tiny pocket though, right?
No,
like
is it bigger?
I feel like it is.
Okay. And it's been a while since I've seen it.
I still like season 2, but I also boost season 2 up because of the early parts and because of how good season 2 sticks the landing.
Right.
Like it is just truly phenomenal. But man, the middle part of season 2 has some, and I should really watch the In Defense Of to see exactly how he defends it. But just looking back at some of those middle parts of season 2, Josie,
right,
James,
I was about to
Yes.
say, I just looked up a picture of James. I never got to James, if that tells
Yes, you did. James is in the first episode. James is a key character.
It's been a minute since I watched it, so he must have made a real lasting impact on me.
My fear is that you've been watching the X-Files.
Oh, shit. I've been watching Carnival.
Right.
I've been watching the making of Twin Peaks, the restaurant.
It's like Wrexham, but sluttier.
Oh, God. Wow.
Oh, man. But I do remember. So again, yeah, thanks to Bill for posting that in the other Discord. It was really interesting. And, but I think you're right, Matt. I'm not remembering the moment to moment, what it's like, that trench warfare of getting through the middle of season 2. So
I actually like James. I think he's like pretty bad, but I enjoy the James moments now. So there's something to be said for that. Like, yeah, it's not the best TV, but it's entertaining TV.
yeah. And I will say, for me, I never loved James and I never loved Bobby.
Oh yeah, I never liked Bobby. I mean, I like the actor.
Right. But I will say, when they got to season 3, my recollection of their performances in that season is like, wow, they were actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't them. You can't look at the actor who played James and go, what the fuck are you doing? Because when season 3 came around, both of them, I thought, turned in, from what my recollection, pretty good performances in their roles. And maybe James is in season 3, right? Bobby definitely is. And I thought he was good.
Yeah, James isn't in a ton, but he shows up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Well, that is
driving home the point that we need Twin Peaks Minute.
We do need something. We're neglecting our demographic. This should be more of a like celebrating 34 subscribers video. And,
I mean, really,
I'm sure
truly.
8 of them are human beings. 23 of them are bots, but the 2 people, they're the ones that need that Twin Peaks Minute.
The 2 people that, yep. This isn't sitting in your queue somewhere on your podcast queue at 90 or 95 of the ones that you need to listen to. Yeah.
Right. But also, thank you to all those subscribers. It's really fun to actually see that people check this stuff out.
Mm-hmm. We do have a little celebration every time we get somebody new in. Mm-hmm. So yes, yeah, we say, oh my God, we suckered another one in.
Right.
So,
all right,
good. Well, should we get this party started, gentlemen? The party already started, but should we get on the bus and go to the other party?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I'm horned up for Twin Peaks tonight. I'm just feeling it, but I'm ready to shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, so this part of the adventure is going to be Lucy comes running out of the tea shop. She says, Loves, the printer just isn't working anymore. I need you to come back inside and help me get this printer going for at least... And we're going to do that for at least an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, okay, thank God. I thought you were serious.
Loves, the printer. She's out of black ink. I need you to go. Yeah. All right.
So now do I roll operate heavy machinery?
You do, but at a severe disadvantage. Because it's a printer. All right. So, you guys, if I remember correctly, as we faded to black, we heard Simon going on his phone. Guys, we're gonna go check out the church for my YouTube channel. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I remembered.
Yeah, because we got a little bit of a history lesson about the town of Muscogee and how they managed to survive even the roughest of times, like the Black Plague, because of the rat catchers. And now the town is without one, and shit is going poorly.
It is. So, are you guys doing anything? It is. I need to change this. It is not 2:00 in the morning anymore. It is bright, beautiful, happy, sunny day.
Nice.
And we'll go ahead and get rid of Tom and Amanda and your soon-to-be ex-husband.
What to say?
And we'll put you guys at the pub. So, you guys are getting ready to walk out. Do you guys want to do anything else in the town of Muscogee? Beautiful day, beautiful autumn day. Besides a few sudden snowflakes that you see every once in a while for that unseasonably cold winter storm that went through Birmingham last night. And Yeah, no, anything you'd like to do while you're in town.
If Simon had his way, while the light's good, he wants to get out there to the church and start filming. But if there's
Okay.
something that you would like to do, Matt, before we head out,
Well, we have to kill time waiting for Paul anyways. I see nothing better to do in this town. I suppose I could go by the gift shop to get us a little tchotchke to remember this forever, but let's not.
Straight on.
Sooner we forget this, the better, maybe.
All right.
Well, you are the one who's kept us here.
I guess
I was in character, not above the table.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like,
above the table, don't forget, there's not a lot of cars in Muscovy, but you did see the firefighter drive by in a Jeep. Just
Right.
throwing that out there.
Look at that.
So
I think he also told us to wait at the pub. He never came by, but that's fine.
yes, he did. He probably got eaten.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. So
we should probably look into that at some point.
at some point. Is there an actual fire brigade here? Oh, love, we haven't had a fire brigade since
Oh, boy.
1943, when Fitz came through and bombed the whole town. Anyway,
all right.
so to the church then.
Yes.
Awesome. We're at the church. So, as the investigators, I'm reading from the book now if you can't tell, as the investigators make their way up the road above the village, they spot a wooden signpost next to the kissing gate in the hedge grove, a gate that allows only one person through at a time. Carved neatly into it are the words public footpath and historic church half mile. You see grazing sheep in the pasture to your left, and you just barely can make out in the distance a half mile away some stones, probably the church back through there. Lots of yew trees, which are very different from the other woodlands around, which are some other kind of tree that grows in northern England that aren't yew trees.
All right. Well, Simon would absolutely turn to Ellie and probably try and put the camera on his shoulder, probably not quite know where the record button is, so Ellie has to sort of point, no, put your hand here, hold it like this. This is the flip thing, use that. I'm like, okay, great. And I'm like, so Ellie, what do you think? Do you want to go check it out?
I mean, given what we've seen here, no. But I mean, if this is your show right now, I mean, Simon says
It's not a show.
she points to the camera and she's crudely blue taped over where it says "Where's there's muck" and it just says Simon Says in Sharpie on the side. It's like, I mean, the sign kind of says it's his show right now.
Oh, great. His show can sign your paycheck.
I mean, you haven't paid. I'm an unpaid intern.
Is she really?
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Oh, okay.
I'm an unpaid intern.
Well, this show pays for all this equipment.
You guys haven't even provided lunch yet.
Back to the pub. Turn it around.
I got a piece of toast at the pub and you bitched about having to pay for it. It wasn't even, it was just bread. It wasn't even toast. Anyway, yeah, she looks at you and she's like, look, it's nothing personal, but I mean, he's the one with the camera. I'm the one with the sound boom.
That's a cell phone, love. That's a cell phone, love.
She looks and she's like, oh, right. Huh. No, above the table, I thought you guys had brought I thought you got the shoulder mounted one.
Probably, but he's streaming on his phone.
Yeah, that's part of it. I'm trying to.
That's okay.
God damn, I can't lift my arm.
You're just looking really cool. Yeah, okay. All right. And
so yeah, I'm trying to film while I'm trying to film.
And she's she shakes her head. She's, God damn, I've never missed Tom more in my life. And she looks back at Shirley, and she's just, I don't know. I'm just kind of going with it right now. He'll be really crestfallen if we don't do this. Like, just have to do this for him, I think.
Meanwhile, I'm right there. Like I can hear you.
I mean, I'm still feeling really bad for the self-swirly he did the other day.
Yeah, we've all been through things, but sure, we can go inside. Just don't forget who both of you work for.
I mean, work is just a general, like, unpaid internship is just, I'm
Great,
getting like,
Mandy, I appreciate this. This is not the time. You
Wow.
can find a new internship when we're done.
wow,
We've been through some stuff. This just isn't the time. Let's go in.
I'm Ellie. She like
Sorry.
pouts and steps and
All
like.
right, she said Ellie in the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm actually already starting to sort of poke my way through the
you've
gate.
gone-
And,
you're-
yeah, I just assumed somebody was coming. I don't know if they are,
Yeah.
but I'm just so proud I got the camera to work. But again, I'm stumbling around because I'm not used to like how to like look where I'm going while I'm holding this, while I'm also filming myself.
and like above the table, I don't know. Like, Art, you'd be the one to know this. Like, do those cameras? They don't have actual tape in them anymore, right? They're just they're all digital. Okay, well this one does, and like you're streaming tape behind, like it's spilling out the back of it. Like you hit play, but you hit rewind, and it's
Nice.
it's just it's BBC Ocho. Like they don't have the highest equipment.
Simon Love, you're doing wonderful for your first shot. And she like crosses up whatever threshold he came in. She's right behind him. Oh yeah, please proceed.
So there's
next you can plug the boom mic you're borrowing from our show into the camera so it's on or something. I don't know. I'll just go on, Loves. Can't wait to watch this.
Ellie's like, isn't the boom Bluetoothed into the phone recording at this point?
Bluetooth into the camera that has hard tape? Yep,
No. He's streaming with his cell phone. Do you even have service? Did you charge your phone last night? Oh God. Okay. All right. I wish Manda was here. She could take charge of this situation, or Paul, but he's too busy abandoning his family, and she shoots daggers at Shirley. All right. So there's a footpath leading into a walled churchyard.
All right.
The church is very old, from what you can tell. There are a bunch of old gravestones all around the church. A lot of the gravestones are toppled. Most of them, as you pass, are barely legible, covered in lichen and mosses and all sorts of stuff.
All right.
And yeah.
So I won't make the world suffer through my actual narration, but just assume Simon's talking his way nonsensically through every stupid action that he does. And if that makes it so he's not quite so attentive, or that's okay. But yeah, so basically I'd be sort of narrating some of the things I learned in the library about the history of the town and the church. And I'd be sort of trying to play up like, do the spirits still blah, blah, blah. And,
Spirits
stir the
love.
rats. What's that?
It says spirits love. Like she's just providing color commentary in the back.
Right, just this negative, like skeptical.
And,
this is what you quit college for, huh?
Yeah. And Ellie is like, she's trying. She's like, ooh, into the boom behind you, like spooky, creepy. Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right, and I start the church. Is it still in a condition where it's still like a building, or is like fallen walls or windows?
No, it's still in fairly stable looking condition.
Okay.
Do you have, as you're looking at it, what is your history skill at?
That is a good question. My history, I probably would have failed out of college if I hadn't quit. But do you want me to give you a history roll?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Here we go. My skill is a 5.
Wow.
Oh, good.
I didn't miss it by as much as I thought I would.
Yep. That looks old.
So to that effect, is like everything like overgrown, or does it seem like this building still gets some kind of attention or use?
Above the table, are you asking that question out loud? or are you asking me, the DM?
Maybe what I'd be doing is, as I'm filming, I'd be trying to talk about, like, the grass is overgrown, or the grass is freshly mowed, which is odd for one of those directions.
So I think you're going with the first, like, oh, it's overgrown, like it's this, everything is moss covered, and like, oh, it's so old. I bet nobody's been here in forever. As you pan the camera over, and it's got like the schedule of services. They're like pretty regularly every Sunday, and it's like, oh.
Maybe they should have hired us for this church.
All right. What is Shirley? What are you doing while he's bumbling?
She says, maybe they should have hired us for this church.
Church of England, deep pockets.
Yeah.
Those Anglicans.
This could use some tidying up. Hey, that's a show idea.
Yeah.
She says to Simon, like, maybe you can make a show about cleaning up places like old churches and stuff.
And it's, we could call it like it's a holy mess. And I'm like, wait, no, I got to focus on my channel, Auntie. I got to get these numbers up. My numbers are currently 0 because it hasn't started, but
she's kind of, she's annoyed with the whole situation, and she's taking every chance she can get to poke fun at Simon for what a disaster this is going to be, and just kind of like Mandy or Ellie and Simon are both like hyping up the spooky stuff. She just like brushes past them and just goes straight into the door, opens up the front door, or tries to open the front door of the church.
It is unlocked. It's a big oaken door. There's a tiny porch. And as you go in,
any rats in here? Any spirits?
So as you poke open this door, it is a giant oaken door. Iron things in the door. It looks medieval, right?
And she does call out like that. Is there any response?
Okay. No response.
Oh, okay.
What is your history? You don't have to roll, but what is your passive history there?
30.
Okay, so as you poke in and you're kind of close to the door, you see it on the door. There's a bunch of kind of symbols etched into the door. You didn't notice them at first because they're pretty worn down, but there are symbols. They look Roman from your passing history knowledge. And go ahead and give me a history roll.
Well, Shirley does think about the Roman Empire at least once a week.
If only there was a place to. Ooh, that's an 80 versus a 30, folks. Yeah, so you did your thinking about the Roman Empire once a week, and it's done. It was great. It was a thing. Those symbols look weird. They look like it's Latin or some version of Latin on the door, but you know what? You didn't really pay attention in that class. So
she runs her fingers over it, and she looks back at Simon, who's like staring at moss or something like that, and she just rolls her eyes like, oh, look, this would be a great thing to show your audience. She doesn't say that out loud, but that's what she's thinking. She then like pushes the heavy door open all the way, and then she then just like looks around to see if anything catches her eyes. She steps in the church.
Okay. So the very first thing you see is just to the left as you enter is a decaying notice board with some announcements and some handwritten notes and a couple of things like that. And then it gets pretty dark beyond that. There's a couple of stacks of folded up wooden chairs that have seen better days. There's a couple of, there's one window, but it's kind of, behind where the altar would be. It's kind of covered up looking. It's got a sheet thrown over it for protection kind of thing. Looks kind of old. Looks like it gets used very rarely. Even though the church, maybe that sign is not quite up to date outside where the services aren't happening as regularly as you would think.
Now, if I recall above the table, Simon is claustrophobic at the moment, right? Is that still in effect? So maybe Simon would...
Or I believe, actually, not to cut you off, Art,
no.
I think that was... The effects of that happened until you went out into a wide open space, and that kind of calmed you down. So I think you're good to go into the buildings and things at this point.
Okay, since we walked. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll continue to miss the actual interesting things that should be shown.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to start walking around again, like not really watching where I'm stepping, because I'm trying to film, and I'm going to start like looking for staircases or, obvious things that are, an idiot would find
Right. So I
interesting.
think so. No staircases as you're walking around. Definitely just a single story building. I will say, give me. Trying to think. Give me a dodge roll, please.
Ooh, really not good at much of anything. Oh, I'm good at computer. Oh, I succeeded. 22 versus 35.
So you like you feel your foot you're like going along the walls, like you've got your phone camera out, like phone light on, like trying to see. Like there's more weird kind of symbols around the church. And as you're walking along one of the walls, you kind of trip on something, but you catch yourself and you don't drop the camera, and you don't. But you look down and give me another. Give me a. I wanted to say a panic check, but that's not a thing. I don't know why. I just wanted to say panic check. And I don't want to make you give me a sanity check. Let's just give me a natural world.
Natural world? Yeah, I can do that. It's 22 versus 10. Failure.
All right. So the way that I'm going to play this is it spooks you for a minute. So you catch yourself, you don't fall, but you look down and you stepped over a stone carving of a rat that was like next to the wall. And it like freaks you out, right? You have a little jump scare, you bounce back a little bit, and but there is and you think it's alive for a minute. That's the failure on the natural world is, oh my God, there's a rat on the floor.
Right.
But once you calm down and you take a minute, you look down and there is a very lifelike sculpture of a rat against the wall.
I definitely go in on that, and I start, talking it up, pouring over it with the camera.
I don't remember this Station of the Cross.
Yeah.
Which is Shirley comes over and says that into the phone. That's kind of odd in a church.
Both of you give me a notice hidden.
No problem.
Or spot hidden, excuse me. Ooh, Matt, that was pretty damn close.
Extreme success for me.
It's even closer.
That is. That's a 69 versus 65 for Matt and a 7 versus 65 for Art. So, I think surely because you were busy stacking skulls at one point not too long ago, you kind of hyper focus in on this one rat. You also fucking hate rats, right? So I think that one has your attention. Like you notice, you start to feel really unsettled as you're staring at this rat. Simon, you look down at your phone as you pan and like you pull your phone up and like maybe you're scrubbing through video to be like, oh yeah, look at that. That's awesome footage. And you see in your phone on the video as you play it back, like there are a bunch of these on the ground and like carved into the walls and carved into the woodwork throughout the building. Like it's pretty, it's really dark in here, but it's once you get in and your eyes have adjusted and you're scrubbing through the video too, you can see that, and you put your phone down, there are rats and rat motifs and mice carved into like every surface of this church.
So this is when Simon would he's starting to get a little overwhelmed by the symbolism is there any religious symbolism in this church? Like suddenly, like, is there a cross? Is there like a stained glass window of a saint? Is there anything I would actually normally expect to see in a church?
So you don't see a cross, and the stained glass window is covered.
Oh, so then, yeah. So I start to say like, something's weird with this church. I'm seeing like these rat images, these rat carvings anywhere. But there's something up there. It's covered up. Let's this is going to be my Capone's tomb. I'm going to go uncover the window.
Okay.
Was it Capone? Whatever.
Yeah. Tutankhamun's, yeah. I'm just kidding. So you reach over and you pull this big giant dusty sheet down from in front of the window, the stained glass window, and you see it takes you a minute to kind of parse out what you're actually seeing here. But obviously there are just hundreds of rats, stained glass rats in this window. And they all surround this figure that just looks like a yew tree at first. Just like you get closer, you swear you see the leaves in this. You think it might be just a trick of the light, or it is a stained glass window, but you swear you see the leaves moving in the stained glass on this yew tree.
So I'm definitely filming it, but actually maybe it's sort of, I'm starting to like half forget that I'm filming, so maybe my camera drifts a little bit as I stare up at it, and I just turn around. I'm like, Auntie, do you is that moving? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
This is the most uncomfortable, and I'm not one to normally be comfortable in church, but why? This is bizarre. And she kind of steps up to the altar and then like runs her fingers along the stained glass and stuff.
Okay, when you do that, you see, as you get close and you're running your fingers on are you running it on the stained glass or the altar?
Stained glass.
Okay, stained glass. Okay. You swear in the leaves you start to see a face as you touch it. And Simon, as she is touching the stained glass, your eyes are drawn up. You kind of start to notice a pattern in the rats, as if they're all flowing upwards to above the door that you guys came through. And you see another huge yew tree kind of carved into the rafter above the door. And you start to see a face in there as well, as you look at it. What are you guys doing? How are you feeling about this?
I think I would be terrified. But again, I have this really stupid reason to, I got to get this YouTube channel off the ground. So I start talking. So I remember, okay, and I get back to, filming and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, this is a church, but I've never seen a church like it, and, does that image match that, trying to piece together like the conspiracy.
Right.
And
Mary, mother of rats, this is
spooky.
Something.
Give me a listen check, both of you, please.
Cool. Oof. Oh, surely. 1 versus 65, critical.
Okay. Surely you hear very clearly, like it's embedded in some lizard part of your brain. You know that you hear the sound of rat feet on wood. Yeah,
I'm leaving.
Yep, that's
we gotta go. We have to go. Simon, Ellie, we're leaving.
Yep. All right, and Simon, what you got? Anything?
I'm sort of lost in my own thoughts, so maybe I didn't exactly hear Auntie saying that we need to get out of here. Maybe Ellie did because she's got a microphone, but I didn't hear it because I'm so like talking up the bullshit.
Are you still looking at the face that's carved in the tree?
Yes.
Art? You start to see the eyes glow in the carving.
I just go, ah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Good.
Oh my god.
Good. All right. I need both of you to give me a sanity check, please.
Nice. If I had a dignity stat, it'd be very low.
There's definitely muck.
Ooh, God
Oh
almighty.
dear. Oh dear.
So we both failed. I don't know if degree of failure matters. I rolled a 96 versus a 31.
Not unless you critically fail.
Yeah. All right. And here comes the part where, we've done like 3 of these now. And you both failed.
Right. So that's bad. Because
It
you want
is
to fail
bad.
the intelligence roll, not the
You
sanity.
want to fail the intelligence. You don't want to fail the sanity. All right. So, both of you failed. So roll me a d6, please. Okay.
I rolled a 2, I believe.
3. So
Okay.
3 damage.
Yeah. So you're both going to lose. Art, you'll lose 2. Matt, you'll lose 3. You guys didn't lose a 5th or more because it's a new day. And you didn't lose, either one of you lost 5 or more. So you're not going insane. You're not having a bout of madness, so that's good. But what you both see, and Shirley, you turned around and started walking away from the creepy ass glass, and Art, you, Simon, are staring at this thing. You both start to hear the whole building like creaking, like wood is breaking, kind of thing, and you see this face starting to come out of the wall that it was, or out of the beam that it was built in. Like something is pulling its way out of this beam as it's pulling itself out, and it's covered. It looks like a tree, right? It is this wooden and leafy creature that's just disengaging itself, like it's 3D printing itself out of this this beam. I'm gonna give you guys, like, if you want to run, now would be the time.
So Simon says, "Hey, I'm from Simon Says. How much are you paying rent?" But no, yes, I run.
Okay. Yeah, I think Ellie's running out the door. Shirley, I imagine you're running too.
Yeah. She was already moving out the door.
Yep. All right. So,
I'm still filming. If that wants to complicate things, I'm not going full speed because I'm still being an idiot, thinking, "Oh, I'm going fast enough."
Give me a. There's no just give me a straight agility or dexterity roll. Nice. Okay.
There you go. Extreme success for me and a success for Matt.
Okay, so you guys are dodging these stone rats on the ground that you swear were in one place before, and now they're like they're not moving. Like they don't move when you look at them. Little bit of Dr. Hoovy in there. But you, like, when you look away, you look back down, you're like, oh god, I'm gonna trip on this stone rat that wasn't there right before I left. You guys both make it to the door, and let's see if Ellie makes it too.
Bum bum bum.
Bum bum bum. Because that might be fun.
Oh,
okay. So Ellie, you hear. Actually, neither one of you hear anything, but you see the boom fly, like skittering along the ground in front of you, and you turn around briefly, and you see Ellie sprawled out on the ground. Are either one of you doing anything?
yes, because I love her.
I'll go. Yeah, I mean, I'm mad and angry at the situation, but I'm not. Yeah, I'll turn around for her.
Okay. All right. So, Matt, am I missing some kind of initiative segment here? It has been a very long time since I've run combat in Call of Cthulhu. I don't think that there is, if I'm remembering correctly.
Is it? No, I don't remember. I have no idea.
All right, we're just gonna roll with it.
I think that it's based off dexterity. I believe in Call of Cthulhu. It's been a while since I've done combat. I'm almost certain it's dexterity.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Well, I'll roll a dexterity check. You guys roll some more dexterity checks. Actually, those dexterity checks you did were fine. But let me roll one more here. This is called winging it here. That's a 62. So for those of you at home, we're going to go Simon, Shirley, whatever is coming, whatever is 3D printing itself out of the wall, and then Ellie. So you are up first, Mr. Simon. Are you running back for the love of your life?
Yeah, and at this point, I am so distracted by Ellie's peril that I actually dropped the camera.
Oh shit!
Yeah. But yes, I do run back to her.
Okay. You make it back to her, and you start helping her up, we'll say, and she's like freaked out. She hasn't strained anything or anything, but at this point, you both also see. Okay. The stone rats have started to shake themselves, and they're starting to turn into regular rats. So you have regular rats, and they are starting to move in your direction as well. So just keep that in mind now that there is a veritable swarm of rats starting to gather in strength and intensity. Shirley, what you got?
I will. Are any of them like close to attacking me?
The rats, no,
Well,
and the other thing that's 3D printing itself, and I actually have a picture of that. That would make sense to show you guys, wouldn't it? I think I showed this to you guys before, actually. So this is kind of what's pulling itself out of the wall right now.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. From the guy's house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
I guess she just runs towards Ellie and then is just gonna try to move out of there as soon as possible. I mean, she's just grabbing her and trying to run.
All right. Roll me a strength check, if you would, sir.
Whoops, that's on my character sheet.
Okay, cool. So I will say with a 31 versus 45, that you are successful in starting to pull them out. I will say that you guys get to the door. What does that look like as you guys are pulling towards the door? You doing anything crazy, or are you just grabbing and pulling?
It's more of that, trying to get like a under her arm if she needs, like,
Yeah.
on my
Mhm.
shoulder, she needs like a twisted ankle or something like that. For the listeners at home, I think we were just looking it up, and it's not in the player handbook. It's in the keeper. It's not in the investigator handbook. It's in the keeper handbook, and that list, that initiative is just order of highest to lowest.
Yeah, it's just
dexterity,
highest. Yeah, I was just looking at that too.
Which
Okay.
I gotta say, I don't love systems that just have it locked in. Anyway,
Yeah. I think we're doing it backwards, but that's okay. We can go back the other direction.
Who cares?
Yeah, lowest to highest, sure. What's whatever.
So yeah,
So-
I would just try and get under Ellie's arm and support her if she's having trouble with an injury or walking or anything like that.
Okay, awesome. So you guys have made it to the door, and I will say at this point that the 3D printed motif out of the wall it plops down, and it is a loud thump. This thing is bigger than the average person. It's probably 6.5 feet tall, maybe 7 foot tall. It is very stoutly built. It looks like an amalgamation of yew, wood, and leaves, and quivering rat parts. And I mean, this thing is really horrible. And it kind of turns to face you guys. And at this point, you guys are standing in the front door. You're going to start to see the plants outside, like those moss and the lichen and the vines, they're going to start moving and wiggling kind of in your direction, which is very unsettling.
We don't have
Yeah.
those Molotov cocktails anymore, do we?
You do not. You do not. And at that point, it is going to the first one. One of those vines is going to shoot out, and it's going to hit Miss Ellie, as she was the slowest one. So let's roll some numbers here.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
That is a 5 versus its skill. And then here is... Okay. Awesome. Let's mark that. So, you see a vine shoot out of the ground at this point and impale. It doesn't just hit, it sharpens into a point and impales through Ellie's leg. And she is like, screaming, she's gushing blood at this point. And it's not looking so good for Miss Ellie. You guys behind you hear some rats advancing forward. Where are you guys? What are you guys doing? I think we're back to Simon at this point.
So I am, so when she got speared in the leg, I assume like she probably collapsed, so I wasn't able to hold all of her weight. So I would, turn around, get my hands under her armpits while she's probably grabbing her leg, and I just start dragging, trying to keep it going.
All right. So you are dragging Ellie. Shirley, are you helping with that, or you?
Yeah. She'll continue to help. Like, we have to get out of here. Let's go. And she's helping out.
Okay. Both of you give me a agility check, please.
Ooh,
damn,
nice,
there's
Matt.
where all the dice have gone.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you guys are making it through the gravestones at this point. You're starting to feel it's gotten to the point where the grass underfoot, you're starting to feel it grasping at your feet, right? You see rats on the walls around the church. This creature hasn't come out of the church yet, but you can see like it's starting to sprout vines out of its back, and they're writhing as it kind of is silhouetted in the door of the church. And again, there's no breeze going at this point, but all of the trees that surround the yew trees that are surrounding are just whipping back and forth around this church. Like it is as if all of nature has gone completely bonkers. Yes. So we're gonna the green man is going to do another. He's gonna take 2 of those vines and shoot them out at you guys again. So
just above the table, can I ask, have we gotten off the premises of the church? Is it like following us back down the path, or are we still within the confines of the church, its walls, its gardens?
You guys are still within the wall. Like, you're outside of the main body of the church, but the church grounds themselves have a wall around them. You have not exited that.
Okay.
So it is going to, let's see where it's going to go. That is a 3. We are going to hit Miss Shirley. So Shirley, you see one of those vines coming out. What does it look like as one of them misses you?
Well, so hold on. That's not quite how Call of Cthulhu works.
That is fine. I will take corrections.
Okay, so usually the attacker will do its limited action, and then the defender always gets a chance to respond. So the defender can dodge, fight back, or maneuver.
Oh, that's right.
I will likely dodge, not Shirley probably doesn't think at this point that she could fight back against vines and whatever this thing coming out of the wall is, so she will dodge against that.
All right. And that is a success because I rolled like shit, right?
Well, that's not quite how it works either. So with Call of Cthulhu, it just matters on your degree. So since we both failed, then there's no damage accomplished. If we had both passed, that's a tie, and it depends on what the action of the defender and attacker is. And then it's if like someone has a higher degree of success, then they win. It just all depends on what each party is doing. But in this case, since both of us failed on a dodge, nothing happens, and I dodge.
Yay. Excellent. And I'm pulling that chart up now so that I can be better prepared. Okay, so you dodged, and I believe we're back up to Simon again.
Okay, so yeah, I am again trying to just drag Ellie, but I realize she's... You know what? She's bleeding profusely from the leg wound, right? I'm just a college kid. I'm pretty soft. I've never seen like an arterial leg wound. So I'm going to... I don't know if Constitution is the right call or if there's another skill that would keep me from not losing it when I see like a grievous injury.
I mean, that sounds like a sanity roll to me.
Sanity, I'll do it.
Yep.
Oh, I succeeded. Okay.
Nice. So
Okay,
how do you keep it together? What is going through Simon's head to keep it together?
My love for Ellie.
Okay.
She needs me. I can't disappoint. She's never needed me more in her whole life. And what it is, it's that it's just empathy. Like, I know she's hurt. I know, but it's going to get so much worse if and I want things to be okay for everybody. So I just need to get her away, and then there's about 5 things that are happening. I need to tackle the first one before I can tackle that second one.
Okay.
So I just keep pulling, keep dragging her, trying to get away, back down the path.
Okay.
I guess like there's a wall, so we must have come through a gate.
Yeah, there was a
so
gate. Yeah.
I'm just dragging as fast as I can right towards that gate.
Okay. I would say that you probably made it to that gate at this point. Shirley, what are you doing at this point?
I mean, she's still assisting and helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're running. I don't think Shirley doesn't have any confidence in actually trying to fight these things. It wouldn't be her. So she's running as far and quickly as she can while helping Simon drag Ellie.
Gotcha. All right. So, trying to think how to best do this. There are chase mechanics. I have not familiarized myself with chase mechanics. So, we will say as you guys exit you guys have made it out of the church grounds. Now, you still hear the rats coming after you guys. You still see the trees moving like crazy. You guys are moving towards Muscovy at this point. Are you calling out for help? Are you screaming? I mean, what are you guys doing as you're running from the scene of this church?
I would definitely be... Yeah, I would be screaming for help, screaming for a doctor, going, oh my God, Ellie, come on, stay with us, all that kind of stuff.
All right, Shirley's about the same, yeah?
Yeah, Shirley is like, she's helping. She pulls out her phone to check for cell service, and she's just trying to keep Simon calm because I know we're like still ways outside of town as we're moving in. And so like she's letting Simon do the freaking out until they get a little bit closer, then she'll just once we're in earshot, maybe she'll start making noise, but she's checking her phone.
Okay. Roll me a luck there, Shirley.
No.
Okay. Your cell service it's 0. There's no cell service right now. Roll me a Simon, roll me a dodge if you would.
Sure. Dodge. Right there. No.
Okay. All right, let's see here. So this is not an attack per se. Okay, they both failed. All right, so you see some as you are going, because you both failed. There are like the weeds in the ground are like trying to wrap themselves around your ankles. Like the crabgrass is uprooting itself and kind of like grabbing at the heels of your boot. Like again, all of nature is seeming to come at you guys, right? And again, this creature is not advancing very quickly. The rats are also they are following you. They have exited the church grounds.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it can move all that quickly. So, and maybe it is even slackening off. But there is still a very slow, dogged pursuit towards town, if that makes sense.
Okay. So leaving the grounds didn't
Correct.
stop them. Okay. Okay.
Yes. So I will say that you guys are probably outrunning it at this point, and it looks wary to kind of go into town.
Okay.
Keep
So
moving it down unless
yeah.
Okay.
Do we know where the fire department is? Did we ever?
I don't know if we ever discussed where the fire department was.
That's okay. I think, looking at the map, the closest, either we go to the closest house and start banging on a door, or we go straight back to, in my mind, we know where the pub is. It's the closest.
Yeah.
And we go there because they probably have a phone. They probably have something.
Yeah, unless we pass something
obvious.
Right, obvious, then sure.
Okay. That probably is, just looking at the map like you said. I would say that probably a good place to drop Ellie off is the pub, and then kind of across the hallway there's an old the closed school. Maybe they use that as the gymnasium is where they keep the fire department's stuff, right? Like the shed behind the old school is where the fire department Jeep is. And that is that is what we'll say is that's where the fire brigade is.
Okay. Yeah, so we'd get Ellie up on the bar or whatever, and somebody's got to tie her leg off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be,
nobody's in the bar at this point, is that you can see, by the way.
Oh, okay.
You have to handle that, Simon. I can't do blood. I am amazed that I was even able to carry her. You have to do this. I'm gonna go try to get help across the street.
Okay. And then, so what I do is I'm like, thank you, Auntie. And I'm like, okay, Ellie, I need you to hang in there. Stay with me. And I'm going to take the, she's got her boom mic, and it's going to have like an XLR cable that runs to the recorder. I'm going to unplug it, tie it around her leg, and try and staunch the bleeding.
Okay. Give me a... that would be a medicine check. I know.
And this is how Ellie died.
That's why I said I can't do blood. My medicine was 1. Oh, so is yours.
So is mine, yeah. 30 versus 1. It's not a bad roll, but when you're uniquely awful at it.
Yeah. So it's a lot of blood, and Ellie is looking...
Well, you could have done first aid.
I could have done first aid.
Yeah, first aid's probably way better.
You want to do first aid?
Yeah.
I'll let you do that.
I'm going to spend luck because I love her.
Yeah.
Okay, so
excellent.
I'm now down to, what do I need, 11?
11, yeah.
Oof, so I'm down to 8 luck.
Nice.
But worth it.
Yeah, so the XLR cable isn't really cutting it, but you you rip a handle off you unscrew a handle from the beer tap, you wrap it around and you twist that stuff down really hard.
Thought you were going to make me do like a Black Hawk Down thing where I got to
go
find it in her leg.
No.
Okay.
But you've twisted that down as hard as you can, and it's at this point as you're kind of holding the, you've tightened that down, you start to look around, and various parts of the bar, you start to see like grass growing out of the drain,
Hmm.
like, and in the corners you're starting to see like like moss starting to drip down the sides. But you have at this point managed to staunch the blood flow that Ellie has. So
All
at that
right.
point, we'll kick over to Matt. What do? Are you banging on the door? You breaking a door to get into the fire department?
No, maybe there's like a sign, so she's looking for the fire marshal's lorry if she can find it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it's pretty fairly obvious. There's a garage door, um, and you poke your head into the garage door, and you can see the fire department jeep inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can try to go inside.
Okay. It is roll me luck.
Okay. Nope.
Okay. It is locked. At least the garage door is locked, as far as you can tell. And again,
Is there another door?
yeah, we'll say, I mean, that's the garage door, the main door, any of the doors that you try, you run around, all of them
Okay,
are
you
locked.
said the garage door was locked, and maybe implying
Yeah,
there
I'm
was another
sorry.
one.
Yeah,
Okay,
I apologize.
she gives up and she runs back to the pub.
Okay. All right.
Simon, I can't find anyone else. I don't know where everyone else is, but I think we need to go. I don't feel safe.
And I'm like, Auntie, we're not safe yet. It's still coming. And so I'm like, Ellie, I'm so sorry. I need you just, a little bit longer. Auntie, can you take Ellie for a quick second?
Yeah, she does what she can.
And having learned my lesson from back at the rat catcher's house, I grab a couple bottles of whiskey,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of rags.
Okay. Nice.
And if the pub has like a matchbooks or no, Ellie had a lighter.
Ellie had a lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just grab like 3 bottles in my sort of claw grip,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
handful of rags, and I'm like, let's get out of here.
Okay. So you got some Molotov cocktails going.
We're back, baby.
You're
Let's
back.
try the car park.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be there. Who knows? But better than she looks at like the bar counter. Better than this.
And
Okay.
So while we're running, I've got this. I'm gonna try and see if I've got any bars.
All right. Give me a luck roll.
Nope.
No bars.
All right.
Yeah, the cell service not great, and at this point, you're starting to see the clouds are starting to come in too. There is a wind now. It's a cold breeze. As you guys are running through town towards the car park, it's very visible now at this point. As you're going through town, you see there's little saplings starting to pop up through the cobblestones. There are, as you walk through town, you're starting to see rats in the popping up out of the gutters and stuff. Like shit is a coming, shit is a hitting the fan at this point. The trees are starting to grow at an exponential rate. The grass is starting to cover the town, and as you pass Lucy's tea shop, both of you give me a spot hidden real quick.
Hand me one of those whiskey bottles.
Yeah, Auntie, here you go. She just does straight up insurance. Ooh, oh, good job, Matt. I failed spectacularly.
So Shirley, as you're handed a one of the Molotov cocktails, there's a bay window at the front of the tea shop / post office / library / sheriff's office, and you see, just for this is an image that will be burned in your mind's eye for the rest of your life. You see Lucy. She is being held up in the air by the green man. There are vines extending from his fingers into Lucy, and she is being sucked dry like a juice box
Shame. Keep moving.
Karma, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's already freaked out. Like,
yeah.
Like,
No, I'm not gonna make you roll anything for that.
She
Yeah,
is. She's going. She's like, I don't. Yeah, I guess she's not snarky about it, but she looks over. She looks and notices like Simon and Ellie don't see it, and she just like, let's keep moving, loves. Almost there.
Okay. So you guys are at the car park at this point, and let's see. You hear you hear the glass shatter behind you from Lucy's tea shop, and a very wet thud as Lucy's body gets thrown through the window. And she looks like a raisin. She's been completely sucked dry.
Don't turn around, Simon. Just keep going.
And you see the green man, Shirley, step out, and he's starting to, as he comes out and like his vine fingers are retracting, he's starting to like blossom flowers on part of his body, like he's growing like a fucking mango or something from another part of, like he's fruiting at this point. For every, as he sucks the life out of other people, he's starting to fruit and blossom.
To the main road. Let's go. Come on. Don't turn around. To the main road. Let's go.
Roll me a both of you roll me a Constitution roll, please. I'll roll in for Ellie too.
Oof.
Oh, jeez.
For Ellie.
That was for Ellie.
As bad as
100.
it gets.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are not winded. Like, you're winded, but you're hauling ass. Like, you're not. You've got so much adrenaline pumping through you, and Ellie's like in and out of consciousness right now. Is where we're at. What's your luck at, Matt?
It's like 38 or something like that.
Give me
28.
Give me one more luck roll.
Yep.
Okay. There's no cars on the main stretch of road, and everything is again starting to grow up around you guys. You're starting to hear like stones cracking and things behind you, as like this town of Muscogee is getting just overgrown at this point. And let's roll another kind of thing here real quick. One moment, please. Okay. It is at that point that you see two headlights in the very far distance, kind of speeding up. And surely you get a single blip on your phone, and it starts to ring.
So she, like, knowing she lets some of the weight go on Ellie, and knowing that Simon's got to bear the brunt of it, she starts to move past him, and she pulls the phone out, and she doesn't even look who it is.
Yeah.
Hello, and she's running straight towards the.
Yeah. And it's surely it's Paul. It's just, is that, are you in the street right now?
Paul, stop, Paul.
You hear the brakes like screeching from 200 yards away.
Move over. She gets in the driver's seat.
Okay. Yep. And Amanda and Tom are there, and they're like, "Is that blood? Are you
Shut up, all of you?" And
she
shoots the car forward towards to Simon and open the back. Okay,
and like Tom's back there. He's like, right, and he throws open the back door. And he's like, "This is reminding me of my Bosnia and Herzegovina days." He's like throwing the doors open. He's like, "What's next, love?"
And I'm like, here, get Ellie, and I'm sort of shifting the burden of her weight over to him so he can help pull her into the back of the truck.
He's not gentle. He's grabbed a fistful of her shirt and he's yanked her in. He's like, "Right, love, you get in now too, boy."
Yeah, and I'm right behind closing the doors, and I'm like, "Auntie, where are those bottles?" Oh, I guess I had some of them, and I
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
them. I'm like, Andy,
Amanda's
give me that last
Amanda's
bottle.
screaming in the front seat now. She's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Mandy, shut the fuck up.
And I'm like, Mandy, make yourself useful. And I hand her my phone already recording.
Really, Simon? You think this is the time? Here, get a close up of this. Now, we're gonna do a drive by. Open up the back doors.
Good.
On the count of 3, I want you to throw all of those at that giant green fucking thing. Paul, don't say a word or you're next.
Paul is just dumbstruck. He's just like, he's sitting there, he's holding like a bucket. He's puking into a bucket again. Like, he's like, I don't know what's happening.
Classic Paul.
Yeah. And okay, so you're throwing some cocktails.
So we're
at
driving
this-
by to like
Yes.
run away
Yep.
Yeah.
the other direction apparently. But I want to give Simon that chance to
Okay.
chuck these at him.
Go ahead and do some throwing.
All right. I'm bad at it. So here we go. Here's the
Can I assist somehow by like saying like she'll pull the
Back right
the
up to it and
parking
just-
brake. She'll pull the parking brake to get the right angle. So instead of like going by and just having a small window, she's
Yeah.
like pulling the parking brake to like spin the whole van around so he gets like this full 180 lineup to match it up directly if you would allow that.
I will. Yeah. That's
That's
an
how I'm
epic
assisting.
moment. Yes, that'll do. That'll do.
All right. So what does that do for
It's what is the assist? It's I've got D&D stuck in my head. It's not roll 2, pick the highest. Oh my god.
Oh, right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
Is it
think-
plus 10 or something?
No,
it's plus a percentage, I thought.
Plus 10 is Warhammer, definitely. I was reading that last night.
Oh my god, too many systems.
We're just getting started.
Oh god.
I think you roll the 10s dice that is better. Like you roll 2 10s. It depends. If you're giving us a bonus die, then you get the 2 10s dice.
Yeah.
There is a specific there's skill value from opposing value. Continue until the opposing value can be challenged by a single. Oh no, that's page 88.
Out of curiosity, is this in the Keeper or the Investigator handbook?
Keeper. Everything's in the Keeper. The Investigator book is like a summary of some of the stuff. It's not all of it though.
Yeah, because when I was looking up combat, I'm like, I feel like the players would want to know a little more detail than the than the Investigator handbook.
Yeah, if you want to know like character builds and stat stuff, the character Investigator book is really good for like mechanics. Like you still have to buy the player book. So.
Right.
It's not fumble, not
It is not page 88.
It is not. Failed dice rolls. Pushing the roll, that's not what we're doing. Foreshadowing failure. La, la, la.
Well, there's on page 86 more than one player rolling dice for a skill roll. Goes on to page 87.
Yeah, so you deduct from the maybe you can only do that if
I'll call it a boost, a bonus die. So you roll an addition.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. You
Okay.
roll 2 10s and roll 1 10 as your ones.
Cool. So this is a throw.
yeah, maybe you can only actually do that if you're trying to do strength and you have to go against something that's like humanly impossible, and so like the only way to overcome it. But
so that is a 56 or a 66.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to interpret how roll 20 does it.
Mhm.
Okay, so neither one's going to work.
Actually, if you click on bonus penalty, I bet it does. Oh no, that's what you did. Ah,
That right. That's what I was trying to. So the 6 is the 10s that you can swap. Okay.
Yep. So that's a miss. Unless you would like to re-roll that with a
I guess I
foreshadowed
could.
consequence.
Yeah. What would be the consequence if I fail this push?
I mean, the obvious one is you drop it in the car. That
And
seems
I
pretty
set the
harsh.
van on fire, right?
That seems pretty harsh. But yes, we'll go with you'll drop the bottle and there will be potential for fire to spread in the van.
Yeah, that's too risky. So
Yeah.
this is just one of those things where like everybody just kind of looks at me like, hey son, have you ever like thrown anything in your life before?
Did your father love you? Did he play baseball with you? Like,
So yeah, it's sort of like and it's like, here's the thing, and he goes, thunk.
yeah, the bottle doesn't even break. It just hits the ground, like bounces a
Right.
couple of times. Yeah.
Halfway, it's way short. So then I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like, and I get the next one ready.
Okay. And are you going around for a second pass, or are you just hauling ass, Shirley?
After that throw,
Yes. Simon, I was hoping for a little more. Do you want another, or should we? No one else talk.
I've got this, Auntie, and I look right back at Ellie, and I think she's counting on me.
She gives you a very weak thumbs up.
Unrequited, one-sided, creepy.
You're gonna have a smaller window. I don't know if I can stick that landing that e-brake again. So she turns the van around in the car park.
Okay.
And on the now they're pointing to go out of town, and
Yep.
when we go by,
there's gravel spraying from the tires on the van. Like it's there's trees, there's full-grown yew trees growing in town now. Like Lucy's tea shop doesn't exist anymore. Buildings are collapsing all around. Like this is pretty epic. Like lens flash Michael Bay level of shit that's happening behind you guys. And this creature is continuing. Like you could see it like start to like. It's starting to do something. Like, oh god. Go ahead and give me another throw roll there, sir.
oh baby,
Hard success.
Hard success.
third time's the charm.
Ellie
Yep.
Ellie was counting on me, and I knew this one had to count.
There you go. So you've thrown the Molotov cocktail. What does that look like there, Fireplug?
Yeah, so Auntie sort of sets us up a little bit, gets the car slowed down or even stopped, and I just kick the door open and I say, hey asshole, Simon says eat this. and I throw the Molotov cocktail. And granted, it's one of those things. It's because Auntie put me like 8 feet next to it.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah. You're
it's
right
like
there
an
in front
easy.
of this thing.
But I'm like, Simon says eat shit, and I and then I
Yep.
because I think I did tell Amanda to film this.
Yep.
Shirley slams on the brake. Out. Just get out.
Just go die.
No, and then, as soon as she hears the Simon Says, she punches it. So
Nice. All right. Go ahead and roll me
A D4, 2 points of
I was
damage.
about
Still
to
coming.
say, I don't know if I should tell you how much. We're not gonna.
fire.
I'm not gonna tell you how much you're gonna roll for that. We're just gonna hand wave that, and so he's on fire right now, and he is, and the rats start jumping down from the roofs around you, like they're pelting the top of the car as you're driving out of Muscovy at this point. And the last thing you see as you kind of turn the bend onto the main road is the green man down on one knee, and he's picking up a rat, biting the head off of it as the fire's been put out on him, and one flower that was wilted and burnt starts to bloom again, and he grabs another rat, and that's as you turn out of the bend away from Muscovy, where there is definitely muck.
Not our muck, not our problem.
And well, that was a fairly. I can see how this is a convention game. That's where that's where you've pulled out, you're driving down the thing, and the credits start to roll in that very 70s, like, oh, that's it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that classic unsatisfying sort of, like you said, 70s movies where like,
Right.
wait, did the bad guy just win? Did somebody just not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we're done with this one, and I know that's unless you guys want to turn around and go fight the guy who will definitely kill you if you go around.
All right, as most things do in Call of Cthulhu.
Right. Like and I think I have lots of opinions at this point.
Well, generally, like when you have a big bad like that, and maybe it was in the module, maybe it's not. There's usually like an ulterior way or alternative way to dispose of them.
There's not a ton of that in this. It is pretty much straight up. The guy shows up and he starts sucking you dry,
Sure.
and it's time to run away. Is what
Yeah.
this adventure is.
And that's not too infrequent, but like sometimes there's a way, like if you stoke the flames, or like if you bop them on the nose, or if
Right.
you sacrifice a rat or volunteer to become the rat catcher or something like that. But they're like, obviously that wasn't presented, so like there would be no way to know that. So then the only option is to run, and that's not too uncommon.
Yeah, I think, and you did catch it there. I was just pulling the curtain back on this. The problem with Muscovy is there's no rat catcher. There's always a rat catcher. The rat catcher feeds this guy so that he doesn't go fucking nuts.
Oh, he feeds him.
Oh,
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah,
because I didn't think to volunteer, but I did piece it
I
together.
figured
like,
it was that there was no rat catcher.
right.
Yeah, so there's no rat catcher. So this guy, the Green Man hasn't been fed, and the Green Man is an elder. He's a shard of Nyarlathotep in this one, and he's he's a nature spirit, right? So so you have to feed him, or somebody has to become the rat catcher, and like, okay, well, I'm going to take you a rat every day and live in Gertine's house, and make the nasty, hanging maggot filled rat menagerie for the Green Man so that he doesn't, end Muscovy. But the only way really to do that is to have you guys go and talk to Gertine at the hospital, or I guess you could have TikToked him or whatever. But that's the only way that I saw in this. You have to go interact with Gertine or read through, like, you guys skipped the black book that was in his house. Like, you guys kept going, you kept walking around it, and I'm like, okay, so you're gonna pick it. I mean, I know that's kind of a mulligan, like a red herring a bull moment. We're like, oh, there's a big scary black book, we're gonna open it and a rat's gonna jump out and eat my face, like. But like the black book in there is, oh, here's the family, here's the rat catchers, like, not quite 101 instructions for feed and caring of your Green Man, but
Right.
it's in there.
And that's partly on me because I sort of did the cliche of go to the library and research there, but it turns out the book that we actually needed
is in the cottage.
Was in the cottage, yeah.
I mean, the library, quote unquote library, was let us know that there needs to be a rat catcher, but that wasn't.
That's true.
My issue with this adventure is, and this is obviously not. This is a written adventure, right?
It's the people you played it with. That was the real
No,
issue.
not at all.
It was the DM. Like, I get it. I understand.
Just, no, not at all. My problem is a lot of problem with Call of Cthulhu things is why would, and I understand you have to hand wave this stuff, and I brought it up, but like, why would a cleaning crew hired to go clean a house that is spotless, then pursue a lead over what's haunting this town? Like, I have no. And like a lot of times you just like an investigator, and so you want to know more. And some of that's on me, like not getting in the mindset that that she wanted to know more, that Shirley wanted to know more. That's on the player, but it like I was thinking about it before. Like, I knew that was going on with me and how I was playing it, but like before we even sat down, it's like Shirley doesn't care.
Right.
Right.
And I don't know why this like moderately successful film crew, even though they're on BBC 8, like they have a show,
Mhm.
Right.
they probably think they're better than this town.
They
And
do. Yeah.
as soon as you see rats, it's like, okay, I'm out. Like, this isn't my problem.
Right.
You know? And so that was my problem with the adventure. Understand that could have been played differently by me, but I just didn't.
Yeah, and I think again with this being, this is a convention adventure. It's meant to be played in 3 hours, right? Like we we stretched the hell out of this just because we were having a good time with it, or
Mhm.
I was having a good time with it,
Mhm.
and I think in a 3 hour setting where you say, okay, I'm at a convention game, I'm going to go to the like you said, it's just a different application, right? A convention player is going to sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to go look for the spooky shit. Like I'm going to sit down and to play in this session, I got to go find the creepy thing that's going on. I agree with you 100%. The film crew on BBC 8 The Ocho is not going to go, like the motivation as a character is going to be, okay, I'm going to go find the car and leave. Like I'm going to sit at the tavern for 12 hours until Paul gets here and then I'm going to leave.
Right.
Like
Yeah, but Call of Cthulhu, the book, does tell the players to hear the Call of Cthulhu, and they want
yeah.
to be curious, which Art's character was certainly doing. Like, you were picking up the slack for that for sure. It's just
Mhm.
in this particular setting, it's hard to imagine or hear the call.
Yeah.
Right. And and I have to admit, I would never just say, I hear the Call of Cthulhu, let's go explore. For my own, not that I'm a great role
Of
player,
course.
but I wanted a cause. I wanted a reason,
Right.
because otherwise, like, yeah, it's just, so, this is something, I've been reading a lot of, Warhammer fantasy. I've run Harn. I encountered this in Zweihander. And it's here in Call of Cthulhu. It's all these systems, even though fantasy, whatever, they all allow you to play normal people.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And part of the reason why my Harn game got derailed over on the Alcoholic Adventure Cabal is because people rolled up normal people, but then, nobody wants to tell normal stories.
Right.
And so they weren't capable. And, some people are like, okay, well, and here, like, not being capable is good because you're supposed to lose in some ways.
Right.
But like, to Matt's point, you still need a narrative reason to drive the character motivation. And so that's why I had that problem in past Call of Cthulhu adventures, and that's why this time I was like, I think I said, let me have a reason to do something stupid,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and just ride that into the ground. But
Yeah.
but I wanted to ask you a question, Patrick.
Yeah.
This is, like you said, this is a convention, and you ran it very narratively.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you're just like, you know what, we're gonna start rolling D6s, 4, 5, 6 is a success, 6 is a total? Like, did you ever sit there and say, like, you know what, I don't need the system this game is intended for?
Yeah, honestly, I mean the back half of this, and I think this is something that I've run into with all of the Call of Cthulhu games I've played or been in, is the fun part of these adventures is until the big bad shows up. Like that's
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
the other part is the investigating, the going to the library, the ooh, what's going on? Like that's the cool part of a Call of Cthulhu game. When you get to the end game and it's okay, let's figure out what to do, I it's the monster's going to kill you if we get there,
Right,
like
you're gonna lose.
yeah, the I don't know, it's again, it's like horror movies. It's the once the jump scare has happened, you can't put the jack back in the box, right? And
Right.
so to go through the motions of a big bulky system, I mean, I was getting frustrated there at the end. I'm sure you guys could tell. I'd be like, okay, well, let's just roll something and move on. Like, I want you guys to do cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when we get to that part, it's like, well, I should have just played Savage Worlds with this. Like, if I wanted to do cool shit, we could have just done Savage Worlds. So you guys could have had a cool boss fight. But the
If you want to give us
investigate,
a chance to win.
Right. The
Right.
investigating part I love in Call of Cthulhu, and the build up and the narrative stuff is fun in Call of Cthulhu because you are just normal people, right? You're
hmm
just normal people doing normal people things. And it's always cool to play that part out. But then again, I don't know. I just
But then if you want the climactic ending in Call of Cthulhu, then my audio is like going out weird. Can you guys hear me?
hmm
yeah, you're
I
good.
think it's just my headphones going out. If you want the climactic ending at the end of Call of Cthulhu, then you have to fight. Unfortunately, then you have to fight like normal guys or
Right.
have a very obvious out. And so then that puts you in a hard position as the GM where we get to the ending and the out is to feed the green man and we just don't know, but we're there.
Right.
We're there at the ending point. And so unless we're fighting henchmen, which can be fun,
Sure.
um, there can be a looming threat of a much more powerful bad guy and we're
hmm
fighting his henchmen and they're defeatable and we still stop the bad guy from coming. Um, it's weird to pull off the ending for me, the ending
hmm
I want in Call of Cthulhu because you are such a fragile character and maybe that's the point.
Right.
Um,
I mean, it feels like the ending is always okay, you're gonna go insane, which you guys are pretty close to doing again.
right.
Like it's okay, you've seen the green man feed on somebody and suck the soul out of them and start growing. Like that's freaky shit. You're gonna roll D8 insanity points and oh, okay, you're insane. You're gonna go sit in the corner until he sucks your life out.
Hmm.
Or it's okay, well, I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna throw Molotov cocktails at him, and he's got 200 health points. I was like, okay, well, you're gonna do that, and he's just gonna come and rip you in half, or you can run away. And if I'm sitting there, I know what Patrick the person would do is I'm gonna head for the fucking hills. So
Right.
yeah, I mean it's again, I want my cake and eat it too.
Hmm. Yeah.
I want to play a cool investigating game where you're terrified of everything because you're fragile, but then at the end, as a GM, it is kind of anticlimactic because it's like, well, this is going to end really in one of two ways. Like you're gonna die,
Yeah.
or you're
Yeah.
gonna die, or you're gonna run away. Like,
It
and
wasn't it wasn't that we missed clues so much, we just didn't
no,
follow the threads that led to the clue. I don't necessarily remember the black book, but that was a couple
it
months
was
ago.
yeah. Honestly, it was
I'm
three
sure it was in the
sessions.
house when we got
It
there.
it was yeah.
Yeah, so that was like
It's
session 1.
right.
So that if we don't choose to go invest Gertine, no matter how much you push us to be like, "Oh, he has a TikTok. Oh, he's at
Yeah,
the hospital." 1, you took our car away.
I did take the
2,
car away.
it's like if we don't do it, then you're not just like that's not like a piece of information you just find at the library. I don't know.
Right.
It
I
put you
can't.
in a hard situation as well to give us any other ending than run away.
Yeah.
And obviously we weren't equipped. So the reason why I'm running is because we have a boom mic and
Yeah.
Hmm.
No.
we're not gonna fight.
There's no fighting whatever this is. It's just
Right.
okay. Yeah. It's yeah, and it's taking the car away. There should have been another car. Like they specifically say in the adventure, like there's no cars in Muscovy. Like so, it's like okay, well, how are they supposed to get over to the town next door?
Yeah. How do they peel back the curtain? How do they tell you to get to the hospital then?
How do they say to do that? It's been a minute. Let me go look at it.
So
I
I'll say
won't.
I've. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead, Patrick.
No, go ahead while I'm pulling
I'll
this up.
just say on a bigger scale, I've played I think 3 Call of Cthulhu games. It's Call of Cthulhu is a system I've always been intrigued by and always wanted to run. And I've played in 3 of them, and 2 of them felt like they had glaring plot holes.
Mm-hmm.
This one is how like if Gertine if the hospital's not here in Muscovy,
Mm-hmm.
how do you get to the and maybe it explains in the adventure. And then one was sort of like where we're investigating a lighthouse where my friend runs the lighthouse and I see a blood trail that goes right to the end. And so we didn't investigate. We didn't do anything because I reacted as what I thought like a person would.
Right.
My friend's inside that building. I see blood, follow the blood to see if he's okay. And it ended up being a speed run. And I'm like, okay. And it was an interesting setup. It was just that it was designed in a way that maybe a plot hole is not the right phrase, but you know what I mean? Like it wasn't
Yeah.
set up to the breadcrumbs weren't arranged in a line. It was like they put the pot of gold. I'm mixing 12 metaphors, but
Call of Cthulhu is fragile, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So my experience is I did a really cool one out of Harlem Unbound called the Jazz Craze.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you don't want to hear spoilers for that, Patrick and Art, you don't have a choice. But listener,
Yeah.
if you don't want to hear spoilers for
Right.
Jazz Craze from Harlem Unbound, fast forward for a minute. If the players listen to the Cursed Jazz record, they go insane, and there's no turning that back.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's interesting. You're pulling for the players, but like if they do it, and of course, naturally, I had a player do it, and I
Yeah.
eased off it a little bit. But that adventure was fragile in that regard. Like you can wipe out the whole party on accident by their own actions, and then you have to pivot, of course. So it's fragile in that regard. The next one we did was a really cool adventure where they were on a looping train, and every time they passed between cars, it would repeat, and it never ended. It would never end.
Yeah.
Unless they got out and walked on top of the train car. And it's like, well, what if they never think to do that? And then to get back to the end to defeat, it was actually like they fought one of the Elder Guards. I think it was Nyarlathotep that, or maybe it was like a Herald of Nyarlathotep. Like it was a pretty big deal. They're not going to beat it by shooting it, but they had to beat it by doing something with the train.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, if the players don't think to, like you can hint at that, but again, it's just like a fragile.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand
the investigation is fragile.
Right.
So what I should have done, if and it doesn't say, just as an FYI, it doesn't say how to get to Appleford. It doesn't like, maybe it's relying on the players to come up with a way to do that. I guess call the hospital, get an ambulance to come get you, whatever. But it doesn't spell it out, and just looking through the conclusion is a paragraph, right? It's like, okay, you can either run away, or it says you can try and kill the guy. They bring up burning, which you guys were doing, right? That's good. Or you can burn the woods down, I guess. And what I should have done, just as a bad on me, is when you guys lit the tree on fire, did I make a giant screaming noise when you guys lit the tree on fire, or was that beforehand? Last session, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't recall. Apologies.
So no, and that's fine. So I didn't make it clear enough. I didn't send a big enough signal when you guys lit that one tree on fire that, hey, that's a good way to deal with this problem. Yeah. Because it said, or to feed the guy rats. Like those are the three potential endings the book gives. Is run away, burn the woods, or become one with the rat.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, and so this discussion that we're having, like it starts to make sense why Gumshoe comes to be, right? But
I don't think it's a Gumshoe deal, Art. That's what I mean. Like, I don't. Well, like, and I'm not like trying to argue with you, but we didn't miss clues. We just didn't pick up threads. Right.
True.
We didn't pick up the thread to the hospital. We knew where Gertine was. Yeah. And Patrick gave us clues. He's got a TikTok. He led us to the library. We saw the carving of the Green Man. You know, there's so I don't know. There's nothing that's like, well, we didn't look around or we failed this roll that I think would have revealed the solution. Other than the burning the woods when we lit the tree on fire, that's like a one minor thing. I don't know if that's a Gumshoe solution. Is what I think. I don't know.
Like I was thinking about your example with the train adventure. Like because you were describing like what if the players don't think of it, and I didn't know if that's the problem that Gumshoe's trying to solve. Like
to a certain extent. So then you just make sure like there's a passageway outside. Well, like all trains have that. So if they don't think about it, like, oh, let's go outside and try to move that way. And like my players got in a little bit of a loop, and then they really quickly realized like, oh, this is repeating itself, and we've moved to the end of time, and we're back to where anyways, like, yeah. So you should be doing those things in Call of Cthulhu that Gumshoe tries to do anyways. I don't think that was our problem. Was not lack of clues. I don't think.
Right. Yeah. So it's interesting because part of me, continues to really want to do more with Call of Cthulhu and someday maybe try running it. But part of it is how would I handle these things when I'm faced with, something that I didn't think of, or maybe the story doesn't think of.
Mm-hmm.
As a GM, would I be able to overcome it? But I do feel like Call of Cthulhu, it's hard because it's a mystery game, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And mysteries, there's an art to them. It's not just, laying those breadcrumbs is a tricky thing. And I don't know if I could do it if I were writing these adventures. So I don't want to, disparage anyone. But I think it's the 3 times I played, twice I've run into something where I'm like, I feel like we didn't think this, like what if the players do X wasn't considered, and I just ruined the game. I felt really badly because I felt like I ruined the adventure that first time.
So you have to pick up your breadcrumbs, right? So we completely ignored Patrick's Black Book. Okay. And this is just like easy to think about now that I know the solution. We ignored Patrick's Black Book. So then you pick the Black Book up and you put it in the library, right? You redraw their attention to it. And this is like something that like Call of Cthulhu, when you pick up a module, is very much like they walk into the bookstore and they roll spot hidden and they notice the King in Yellow is for sale. Maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe they never go to the bookstore. Okay, you got to put the King in Yellow somewhere else then. And that's like one of the tricky things of running Call of Cthulhu is like, when do you pick up clues and where do you move them and how do you get them to the players? Because they're not going to go to the library every time, even though it's Call of Cthulhu and you should always go to the library. They're not going to.
Right.
So then you just got to like, okay, this clue I have to be able to work it in these spots. They're traveling to Appleby, but I need them to see the picture of the guy that we saw in the house. We missed it. Like, I don't know, maybe we walk by a tree or something. Like, it's easy to think of now because I know the answer, but like, that's, I think, one of the keys. I'm not like pretending I'm good at that. It's just advice I've heard on different podcasts is taking those clues and being able to move them to other scenes.
Yeah. Because I'll say the one mystery I've really ever run, well, I mean, I guess you could say that like the Deus Vult games I run are sort of mysteries, but I ran specifically an adventure that was a murder mystery on a space station.
Yep.
And what I tried to do going into it was making sure that there were 3 different things, say, that they could find that would point towards the thing I needed them to hopefully get. Like, there's going to be fingerprints here, there's going to be a murder weapon there, and there's going to be something there. And at the end of it, I didn't do a great job because it ends up people taking hostages, shoving guns in people's mouths, and and brute forcing all the answers. And then at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, that worked. I didn't pull it off, but thank God, like the players did, or else it could have been a mess. So thank the players. Matt was one of them. So
I'm curious what to do. This is like good feedback because obviously I'm still interested in Call of Cthulhu and this holiday because I'm going to do Delta Green, right? And that's just a variation of Call of Cthulhu in a lot of different ways. But it's Twin Peaks based, so there's going to be a murder mystery involved, and this is good like reminder of I need to, since I'm building that from scratch, I have to be flexible in where those cues are. If you guys never go visit Gertine in the hospital, then I need to ramp up or move Gertine or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so especially real quick, and then I'll quit talking. But like, especially if the module doesn't give you like a variance, like. And there are modules that are well written that do that and be like, if the players don't do that, or like, here's, like it needs to give you another solution to Gertine and talking to him.
Mm-hmm. So two pertinent questions and then I got to bounce, guys. One, did you guys at least have fun even with
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. It was really fun. And in the second session, especially like, like it was a lot of role play. Accents were flying left and right. The first session I felt like was a nice setup with the group. I think, yeah, I thought, I mean, I always have a good time, and this was no different.
Good.
This was a lot of fun.
Very
Good.
much agree. Thank you very much for GMing us through it.
Yeah.
Yes. And there was there enough mystery? Do you feel satiated on the mystery front from at least, we may have missed some of the big clues or the big breadcrumbs, but was there enough to get you interested one point to the next and keep you engaged, I guess is my, because that's the big thing with mysteries, right? Is, you guys didn't figure it out right out the gate, which is good. That's one
Right,
thing I'm always
right.
terrified of. But were the breadcrumbs dispersed enough so that it remained interesting throughout, or did we get to a point where it was like, okay, we know where this is going, even though, I don't know. I don't know if I'm wording that well or speaking that into a good place, but I guess
I think so.
okay.
What I would say is we didn't pick up the solution, but we were picking up
Right.
your breadcrumbs.
Okay.
So the
Right.
mystery was still good. Just because we missed the right answer
Mhm.
doesn't mean that the breadcrumbs weren't there and it wasn't interesting.
Okay.
Right.
I suspected early on when Gertine wasn't there and things started to happen, like the
Right.
rat catcher is gone. That's probably why things are going bad, but I think
Yeah.
that's kind of obvious. And so
Right.
then I was very intrigued to like, okay, how do you solve, what is the solution to the lack of the rat catcher?
Yeah.
Right.
Once the things started coming out of the church and turned into like a green monster, it's like, okay, the solution to this is get the hell out of here. But
Right.
at that point, you're at your climax anyway, so you don't. The mystery is done at that point, and now it's just
Right.
the resolution. So,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. I think
Okay.
the breadcrumbs were interesting and tantalizing.
Good.
Just because we missed the pie or solution or whatever doesn't mean it a bad mystery. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
bad investigators.
Good.
So, real quick before we sign off, I just want to, like, a quick yes, no, don't even think about it kind of thing. Is Call of Cthulhu a good investigative game?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. There you go. So, Patrick, do you want to take us out?
Sure. Thanks guys for watching. Appreciate everything. You can find us on all of the social medias. Black Lodge Trivia Night, Black Lodge RPG. We have a Blue Sky. We do Justice Tea promotions. We're gonna have a crab boil down at the Lobster Pot. And thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, all 34 of you. It's been a blast. We did it, guys. We finished one whole adventure.
Very nice. This was great.
I'm looking forward to taking the DM hat off and and handing it to you, Art. It's been fun, but I am enjoying playing. So come back next week. I think next week we got Menace Under Otari and some more Pathfinder going.
Back at it. Great job, Patrick. Thank you
Yeah,
for
very good
awesome
job.
DMing.
Thank you.
Always
Good
appreciated.
deal. Night, guys. Good
All right,
stuff.
take care.
All right, bye.
The music during the RPG session in Foundry was provided by the Foundry module Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find his Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music, all one word.